Okay, welcome back to members of 121 Community Church in Grapevine, Texas, in our ongoing study in All Things New by Bingaman. This is we finished the book, but it's time to take a look at a summary lesson on perichoresis. The entire book was devoted to the concept of perichoresis, originating in Maximus, getting full elaboration in Moltmann. So if you look at the chart, and if you look at the center of the page, we have Acts 17:28. And it says that within God we have our being. All of creation is inside God. All of creation has been inside God. It exists inside God. Therefore, if you look at the chart, a large circle is God. And if you look within that circle at the bottom, you'll see heaven and earth as existing within God, based on Acts 17:28. And then you get the definition of perichoresis. It's a circular, triune, rotating enclosure that encloses all of creation. So God made room within himself for his creation. That was the very first act of love. God sacrificially made room within himself for creation. He made room within himself for heaven and earth. Now, the Father is the eternal Logos. In himself, God is the Father, the eternal Logos. But he went out of himself to create, and he did that through the Son. And you notice that the Son is the Rhema, and Rhema is the spoken word. So you've got the eternal Logos, the eternal word, as the Father, but the Son is the spoken word, because creation is spoken into existence. And then if you go down to the bottom of the circle, you have the Spirit as pneuma egeiro. Egeiro means uplifting, resurrecting power. So you have the pneuma as the uplifting, resurrecting power that is incarnate in heaven and earth and lifting all of creation into reunion with God the Father. That's why it continues pneuma, 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 all the way back to the Father. And so it's all about recognizing as believers that our existence is within God. God said to Moses, I am the I am. I am being. I am being. There can be no being outside of me, because I am being. I am the I am. Therefore, Paul, when he taught at Athens in Acts 17:28, he said, we all exist within God. We all have our being within God. We all have our existence within God. And not just God, but the triune activity of God. God the Father as Logos, going out of himself in creation, as the Son as the Rhema, spoken word. Let there be light, and there was light. The spoken word creates. And then the Spirit lifting, lifting, and lifting all of creation back into perfect union with the Father. And that's why we have a good little closing postscript here where we can visualize perichoresis. It is the circular activity of the triune God that began by making room for creation within God's self, and then, through the Son and the Spirit, lifting that creation into perfect harmony with God the Father. So it's exactly what we needed to look at for our conclusive postscript. All Things New was dedicated in totality to the doctrine of perichoresis, initiated by Maximus in the 7th century, further formulated in complete fashion by Jürgen Moltmann. So just recall that perichoresis is based on Acts 17:28. Within God we have our being. Therefore God is that all-inclusive circular movement of the triune God. Logos, Rhema, Pneuma. Logos, Rhema, Pneuma. And within that circular activity, we have heaven and earth, because God made room for heaven and earth within himself as an act of love. First act of love was to make room for creation within God's self. So this gives you a little picture to take a look at the kind of a postscript, but it gives you a visualization of the doctrine of perichoresis that was taught by Bingaman in his book, All Things New. So that's going to wrap up our little postscript, but I hope this is helpful to give you a visualization of perichoresis.